Hey people, am I here? Am I live? Somebody, oh, I'm about to see. Pardon me, this is I've only done a few of these on Facebook. I think I'm here. Can someone tell me if I'm here? Okay, yay, somebody's here. Okay. First of all, I want to thank Sandy for setting this all up and allowing us to have such a great place to be able to, hey Sherry, to be able to gather together and have such great content from some great, amazing, world-class freaking leaders. And to be a part of that is really, really an honor. I love all you guys, and I'm really excited about this. Thank you, Sandy. I wanted to share because I actually wasn't gonna share, but just because I've honest and personal things going on. Some of you know Lee Stewart just passed, bless her and her family, and Dr. Stewart, and so I just came back from that funeral, and also 3 other dear friends of mine have all passed in the last few days. So this was the kind of the last thing on my mind that I plan to do right now, in the middle of processing all that. But the Lord kept tugging on my heart that this is what I'm supposed to be doing, and the reason why is because this organization, this company has saved my life for a number of reasons and a number of ways. Oh man, I'm crying already. Just with health reasons, and not only that, but the friendships that have come out of the people in this company are just so amazing. And so I chose to do that, not only on a level of friendship and integrity of the company, but also obviously the oils have saved my life, and I don't know how much I can go into that for compliance reasons, but at least 2 times, honest to God, I wouldn't be here without these oils. Literally on the planet wouldn't be here without these oils. I'm going to share a little bit about that, but I also wanted to share something that I don't know if a lot of people talk about. I'm a minister. I have a background of 20 years in ministry, and for the sake of those who are in ministry, I'm also going to talk about finances, because finances is a big deal. And I think sometimes when people coming from the church arena almost feel guilty making money. I know when I started actually making money and doing this as a business, hold on one second. Sorry, my cat was sitting on the keyboard. I didn't, it's almost like I felt bad for making money, and that's just a religious spirit. And so I'm going to share a little bit about that too. I came from living off donations, and I was actually in the middle of a divorce and had 3 children. My cat, I'm going to kill this cat. In the middle of a divorce, living in my parents' living room floor. Didn't have money. I finally got a rent house and didn't have money for Christmas trees or school supplies or diapers or rent when I finally got rent. It was pretty tough. And because I was in ministry, when you get a divorce, at least in the denomination that I was in, they aren't too happy about divorces. So that was kind of a tough situation, and I was in full-time ministry at the time, and so my job was to minister to people and to minister in churches all over. I was in like 30-something countries by then, and all over the United States, and people weren't really excited about having me come speak, coming from being in the middle of a divorce. That changed really quickly, and I wasn't in a position to be able to explain really why I was in a divorce. You know, I think sometimes people don't really care. They kind of make up their own thing. But that's about the time that I found Young Living. And I was able to not only suddenly pay for expenses and pay for my children to have school supplies and pay for diapers and rent and electricity and all of the things that are a big necessity, but I was also able to get completely out of debt, out of all my school debt. Went back to school, got my naturopathic doctorate. I had already gone to undergraduate Bible school and seminary with a wellness and kinesiology undergraduate and ministry seminary master's, and found myself going back to school. And it's really, this whole thing has really taken a path that I never would have thought. Like, you know, if I was 5 years old, what do you want to be when you grow up? I'm going to be an international speaker, ministering and serving and loving on people and helping people in mind, body, soul, and spirit. That wasn't like my highest or even a thought in my mind of what I was going to do. God has exceeded my limited dreams of what I even knew was possible. Not only being alive, but being able to serve my whole world, not just a church building, but going back to school and learning about all of this and actually applying some of this to my life and sharing this with others, seeing people's lives change, seeing families change, seeing my community change, churches change, and getting the ability to step outside of the church and being able to minister to literally the whole world instead of just this small niche of people. I mean, I had an international ministry before I even got to Young Living, but this has opened up the doors. This has kicked down the doors of the church because there's so many people who are sick, unfortunately, with the environment the way it is and the pharmaceuticals and all the different things that are out there. We have such an opportunity to share love and to share the education that we have and the tools that we have and the life that we have in these oils to bring life back to our world. And man, so I'm going to share a little bit about not only my story and that, but also the financial part, because getting out of debt is huge. We're supposed to be the head and not the tail. I have been able to not only pay off my bills and get out of debt and buy a house, but pay off my house. I've been able to give to other people and help finance their ministries, help them get school supplies for kids, help them get oils, help them get healed, help them, no, I can't say healed, help them support their immune system and their homes, help them educate others and pass that on. I've been able to help other people get a check, get finances on their own, and to be able to love well. And this is something really cool. I actually won the very first car from Young Living. I made diamond in 18 months, and at that time, no one had made diamond that quickly. I think the record before me was like 6 years or 14 years or something back in the day. And I did it in 18 months with God's grace, and I won the first car, which is a Mercedes. And it was interesting that I won that car because I had made a promise to give back, and I had been giving back for years, and not only through giving and donating and helping other people in the church and outside the church, but I had started giving away a car a year, whether it was a used car or so far it had been a used car every year. This year I bought a new car, but I have bought a new car for a family 7 years in a row. This is my 7th year in Young Living, and that is so cool because that feeling of being able, I hope to give away a house. That's what I want to do. I'd choose to give away a lot more than that, and just to serve my world in different ways financially. And this is an avenue you could do that. You know, we're not in this just to make money to buy all kinds of stuff for ourselves. We're here to give back. And so I was happy to be able to actually give my 7th car away just last week. And that was probably my most expensive, biggest investment so far. They've been newer and newer and newer each time. But that's why I really felt like I needed to share, because of Christmas and because of the importance of this, because of Young Living's investment in me. God, I'm still crying. Let's get on the lighter note. I'm choosing to, before I get sharing my story, I'm really excited about everybody who's on, and I'm going to give some giveaways today. I have some resources here that I'm going to give away for the best shout outs, and anyone who follows me on Instagram, Dr. Sharnael, Dr. Sharnael, this is Dr. Sharnael. Dr. Sharnael on Instagram. I'm on a bunch of social media stuff, but I'm going to give away a CD called Stewarding God's Temple, which is about stewarding God's temple. The Daniel Standard, which is a CD teaching on duplicating diamond, and also doing it with integrity and understanding that this is a governmental deal. Daniel was governmental, and he definitely did something for the whole kingdom. He worked for the king, and he's awesome. And I love the Daniel Standard. To me, the Daniel Standard had a spirit of excellence, and Gary has that excellence, and I love excellence. And so that's a teaching on how to do that with your business. I also have business and ministry tools, building your team, powerful business sense, not sex. That's a good one too. I should come up with powerful business sex. Let's do that one next. But powerful business sense, as in sense, like smelling. Kingdom finances. I'm going to give this one away because again, this is important. And I'm going to give away the quantum connection to essential oils. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things I'm going to give away after this great teaching today and sharing. And just follow me on Instagram at Dr. Sharnael, and those people who follow me, I'm going to randomly pick people out of a hat. So I'm going to share a little bit about first of all, I'm also going to give away a Christmas spirit. I forgot. Christmas spirit, and it hasn't even been used. It's brand new. Like, that's a joke. I wouldn't give away something used, but I love Christmas spirit, so I almost forgot that. Okay, thank you. Now I'm going to put on abundance, because I am abundant, and I'm a little bit nervous about all this technical stuff. I'm going to put on sage, which is my fave. Who loves sage? I mean, oh my God, don't we all love sage? Because this is clearing. Can I say that? I don't know. I just did. I'm going to put on Valor 2, because Valor 2, everyone loves Valor. I love Valor 2. Valor 2 is like, come on, really? Valor 2, yummy in my whole vibe. Yummy in my quantum field. And lastly, I'm going to put on Believe, which is literally my superhero favorite oil in the universe. Okay? I'm putting on Believe because I'm believing in you, to believe in me, to believe in you, to believe in me, to believe in you, to believe in me, for us to all believe and have a wonderful Christmas season, and to believe that our organizations are going to multiply and grow. And also, you know what? I just tried to get Lindsay's book, and it only comes on Kindle, so I'm just asking you, Lindsay, can you make a freaking real live book? Like, people sometimes want printable things that they can read and underline. I'm just not up to it on the Kindle thing yet, so work on that. Just saying. Okay, so here we go. My story, I shared a little bit. I have 17 years, 20 years of ministry, and traveled every single weekend all over the world. Lots of different opportunities to meet some great people and having a good time doing it. I have since then, I'm in church. Have a broader view of what church is now. I believe that church is here, and I go to church buildings, but I don't believe that that's the way to be spiritual necessarily. I believe in covering as far as accountability and love and peace and all that, but my vision of church has broadened quite a bit. And in the process of being in ministry, I, because of the travel and because of the airport situation at the time, there weren't a lot of great options traveling 20 years ago. My diet pretty much consisted of Coke, Coca-Cola, like the drink, to be clear, and Doritos, preferably ranch or cheddar, or the nacho kind, traditional, and Rice Krispie bars. I pretty much ate those are my main food groups at the time. I probably had 4 or 5, 6 things of Coke a day, Coca-Cola a day. Not saying that's a great idea. I'm totally telling you the things not to do. I was even in a Coca-Cola commercial with Ryan Seacrest. I don't know if you know who Ryan Seacrest is, but back in the day I was in a commercial. You could probably find that somewhere out there. I hope maybe not. I was freaking 6 months pregnant, drinking Coca-Cola in a commercial with him and telling him that this was my main food group. And I'm like, I can't believe it. I've been off of Coke for Coca-Cola, all sodas, for 7 years now. Thank you, Jesus. And there's oils for that. Can I say that? I just did. So those are my main food groups at the time. And let's just say that it wasn't super good for my diet, for any kind of nutrition to my body. That was not the best, highest choices for me in my body. And so I found myself in a lot of different issues in my health. Not only was I 80 pounds heavier than I am right now. Yes, it's not compliant. I'm just stating the facts. But I was on over 30 different medications for different things going on in my body at the time. And that's not fun. I had to have a pill for this and a pill for that. And it was like mental freaking gymnastics to figure out, like, this pill is at dinner, this pill is at lunch, this pill is with, like, milk, this one's with food only. Oh my God, my cat. I'm telling you, what the heck. These pills go together. These have to go together. Like, I had charts, I had maps, I had a small bag, like my whole carrier bag that was only my prescription drugs at the time. And I didn't feel any better, to be honest. Like, I would get on one thing and then that would make me have to get on something else because of the side effects. And I mean, it was just not a fun thing. And everybody knew I wasn't feeling well. I wish I could post pictures of what I looked like, because I don't think you would believe it. I look back even this last weekend, found some old pictures, and I was like, ugh, who is that woman? I wasn't happy, and everybody knew it. I mean, I did my best with where I was at. And I'd been to so many doctors, I was so over it. And what happened is somebody told me about this guy named Dr. Thomas Lucky, who's an MD and an ND in Jackson, Mississippi. And when they also shared with me the oils, but the person who shared the oils with me kind of scared me a little bit, because that seemed kind of creepy and yikes, and maybe witchcrafty and new agey. And she just ran after me with oils all the time, and she had the big one, the huge case, which I have a couple now, thank you. And she just kept going, you should put oils on it. I was like, lady, her approach wasn't exactly my flavor, but she didn't give up. And she told me about this doctor, and I went to the doctor. And when he examined, oh, before I went there too, I had this crazy encounter with God, and believe it or not, whatever you choose to believe. But this, I had reoccurring dreams and different things that kept happening where these angels kept coming to me saying, it's time to meet Will, it's time to meet Will, it's time to meet Will. And I was like, who is Will? Like, I called my staff and my friends, and I was like, do we know Will? Am I scheduled to go somewhere where there's a Will? Is there like a pastor at a church somewhere where I'm going to meet some Will person, or William or Willie, or is there anything short for, and I just, whatever, I shelved it because it didn't make any sense to me. And when I went to go see this guy, he starts talking to me about the limbic system and telling me basically that your limbic system will hold different traumas, and how if things are sudden or by an authority figure, or if anything traumatic, that kind of thing will actually store in your body if you're not processing all this stuff. And so he went through all these things, and he's tested me, and he basically located 29 different traumas in my body. And he's got a bunch of crazy quantum tools. I love quantum. I had studied neuroscience for years. I taught and still teach on science and the spirit and neuroscience and frequency and energy. And so all of this fit, and then when he started talking about oils having frequency, I mean, that's why I have these teachings. I have a quantum health school and a teaching called the quantum connection to essential oils, because these oils have frequency. And so it kind of made sense. It was still weird, and I had that crazy lady shoving that stuff in my face and stuff, and so that kind of turned me off a bit. So I encourage you to not go that route, and that's why I am very the opposite. I just like share, and if people like it, no big deal. If they don't, whatever, I let people do their thing. But for me, some of the science, it was the science for me that made sense. I'm very scientific, and I'm kind of I'm very right-brained, but I'm left-brained. And in the process, there was one point where I was like, okay, if these traumas are in me, and, some of them are causing symptoms, some of them are dormant, some of them are active, like, how do you get these out? And he basically explained to me that you could, that there's different ways, but one of the main ways that he explained was essential oils. And I was like, for real? It seemed a little bit weird. He handed me this piece of paper, and he had me hooked up to these machines, and he handed me this piece of paper, and when I took the piece of paper, the machine like went crazy, like Pac-Man just died, like game over kind of sound. It was super scary, and I was like, okay, what does that mean? And he's scratching his head like, oh brother. And I'm like, what does that mean? And he goes, well, normally that doesn't happen. Normally maybe people read the paper and the machine might go a little bit crazy, but you just touched the paper and you didn't even look at the words, and the paper, the machine's are already going crazy. And I was like, okay, what's on the paper? So I flipped the paper over, and it says like, you are beautiful, you are loved, you are you have destiny, you have purpose. People love you, that kind of stuff. And I was just like, and he goes, well, your body, because of these traumas and everything, your body's basically blocking all of this from you believing any of this stuff. And I was just like, huh? And I didn't want to tell him, like, okay, I teach all this, like, every week, like, to thousands of people all over the world. Like, they have purpose, they're beautiful, they're loved. Like, you're really telling, I didn't say this, but I'm thinking, I don't want to tell you this is my job. And I'm thinking, if I'm not believing this about me, then what are the chances anybody else is believing this? And I was just like, okay. And I'm thinking, well, what do I do about this? And he goes, hold on, let me figure this out. And he like goes and takes the paper, and he comes back, and he just wrote on the top, I will. And I was like, what is that? And he said, I want you to get in the mirror. And I want you to speak to your eyeballs, like speak to yourself, and I want you to say, I will that I'm beautiful, I will that I'm smart, I will that I'm loved, I will that I have purpose, I have destiny, all those things, because he said we could actually will ourselves into some of these things and the traumas would fall off. And he said that your will is 400,000 times stronger than your spirit. And then I heard, it's time to meet Will. So I knew, like, there was something to this, like, conscious language, decreeing, connecting with my spirit, with myself, with me. But I also this thing with essential oils, he was explaining how using the oils, by doing that, would have, like, even a faster effect, because the oils, this is the frontal lobe, and the oils actually go past the frontal lobe into the limbic system. The limbic system is where all the trauma is stored, and that, like, dumps not only the traumas out of the limbic system, but out of your organs where they're assigned. And I'm just like, makes sense. It's kind of crazy that, you know, I'm just gonna sniff an oil and everything's all better. I mean, it just sounds cuckoo, right? But what do I got to lose? And so, you know, it took me a year, even after that meeting. I left out of there connecting, and angels are talking to me and saying that this is the way, and I still, my God, it still took me a year to get my left brain to wrap around this and actually jump in. 1 freaking year. A year of pain, a year of being in bed a lot. If I could go back to that, I don't even know. Being with my kids, being able to play with them and go outside and do all that. Anyway, when a year came, it was after my 6th miscarriage. And I was still gaining weight. I was still having symptoms. I was still in all the drugs. And that was a huge, that was my final thing. And someone had given me some oils to deal with the pain of the miscarriage, because I didn't want to do a DNC. And I got the kit. I called because I was going to replace what she had given me and get some for my own, just like a few. And the people that I spoke to were like, you know, if you get a membership, it's cheaper and it's more cost effective, and you get all these things, and plus you could have a membership to buy, you know, 24% off, da 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 da. And I had never thought I would be in any kind of MLM, anything at all, zero. I was just very opposed to it because of my experiences with it in the past. And I also had a lot of people who had attempted to use me and my platform to sell their stuff, whether it was jewelry or makeup or, you know, whatever. And to be honest, I didn't really give a rip about makeup or kitchenware or jewelry or that. I mean, I still don't really. I did put on makeup for you today, and I brushed my hair today just for this call. I even put on deodorant and brushed my teeth. Not like you could smell me, but those kind of things aren't like on my top priority list of stuff. I have other lists of stuff. I mean, stuff is just not important to me as much as people and memories, making memories with my family. So I had not ever wanted or considered myself to be a salesperson, or especially in one of those MLM things. And just didn't anyway, but I did. I jumped in as a member. I wasn't going to do the ER thing, you know. I didn't do that at first. I just got on as a member and got the kit. And when I got the kit, I didn't know what the crap I was doing. I mean, I was like sniffing it, diffusing it, putting on my feet, putting on my neck, on my wrists. I was, you know, I had no guidance whatsoever. There was nothing on the internet at that time. I mean, this is years ago. Now it's so common. I mean, you could look up anything, and there's books and books and books about it. And I wasn't going to call, you know, that lady. And so she was the only person I really knew who did anything like that, and I just wasn't going to deal with that. So I went by what God said. I just was like, okay, I'm going to sniff this. I'm going to put this here. I put it under my armpits. Honestly, I did put it under my armpits, especially if I had like a long trip or whatever on an airplane. And it's the craziest thing, but after a few weeks, I already noticed a difference in my health. Without going into all the non-compliant things, I will only tell you that 16 weeks later wasn't needing any of those medications. I had not had a fever for the first time in 6 years, and all of my health issues were gone, and I was now in a size 4 pants when I wasn't a 22. So that was a little shocking, but when you have trauma, you hold on to everything, including weight and fat cells. So that was helpful to me. And so in the process of doing all that, I began sharing. I became a distributor. I got on Essential Rewards. I started sharing. I actually went diamond in 18 months, which hadn't been done at the time. But I already had a platform, and I wanted to tell everybody in the freaking whole world to get this in their house. What's crazy is I started reading, I met Dr. Stewart and went to Healing Oils of the Bible. He's my upline. And I don't know if you have this book. Oh my gosh, can you tell I read it sometimes? The whole thing is dog-eared and marked, which is what I'd like to do with Lindsay's book when I get a hard copy, because I'm old school. But yeah, I read that, and I love how he teaches about the science and the scripture. That's my mind. That's how I love how the interaction of those two. And what was crazy is here I've been in the church for 20, in leadership, in ministry, let alone in the church, but lots of years in ministry, since 13 years old. I won't tell you how old I am. And no one mentioned oils ever in the church that I was going to. And there's like 1,600 scriptures that refer to it. I went to Bible school and seminary, and no one's talking about this. I even went to med school to get my naturopathic doctorate, hoping to get more teaching on essential oils. I had 2 classes, not 4, 2 classes. That's it. And I was like, ugh. So I wouldn't recommend going back to school for that. You could get lots of training now all over the universe and not have to put all that investment in. So that's kind of what happened to me. Now, I was working, I say I made diamond in 18 months. You have to understand, I was working 120 hours a week for like 4 years. Not just until I made diamond, but even after, because of the support that I had to give all these people and the training and the management and the mentoring and all the things that come with it. I love every bit of it. I adore people. I love coaching. I do coaches, and I'm a practitioner, so people get coaching from me all the time, whether it's a business or health stuff. And I was doing that already, but now, because this other door had opened outside of the church, the whole world needs these oils. And literally, like I said, it went from being in church doors to this tiny niche of people to literally my platform was now the entire world, because the world needs education. The world needs healing. The world needs love, honestly. And this was an opportunity for me to open up not only my speaking engagements and social media opportunities, books, whatever, CDs, teachings, but also, now the whole world. My platform is the world, and your platform is the world. You get to talk to the whole world. When I started really working with social media, oh my gosh, and that's my puppy. Her name is Wolfberry, and she is about that tiny, which is why I named her Wolfberry. But when you have the platform of the world, I went from having to be on 6 planes a week, and I did that for 17 years, to, finally that was taking a bit of a toll. I apologize. Just working 120 hours a week, and I was like, okay, someone's gonna have to do something. I'm gonna have to do something different. I gotta do something differently. and just for my body. And that's when I really started focusing on social media. I started a YouTube channel, Twitter. I think I got like 10,000 Twitter things. I got, of course, Facebook is my favorite. Now to give you some tips, I did a regular Facebook page, and I think you can only have like 5,000 friends. Well, you can only have 5,000 friends. And I had, before I even got into Young Living, had 5,000 friends that you couldn't add more to it. So once I got into Young Living, especially after I made Diamond and people were contacting me and wanting information and help and support from my team and outside of my team, we didn't, I couldn't add anybody. So I ended up getting a Facebook fan page, which I just made 30,000. That's the 30,000. 30. Really? 30,000 on that page. And there, if you set one of those up, I'm just giving you some hints, you can get as many likes. There's no limit to your likes and their followers on that. Now, since then, I'm noticing that there is like a follow button on the regular personal page, so people can follow you even though they're not your friends. Okay, I'm gonna go kill my dog. 1 second. Just kidding, I didn't kill my dog. You can actually get, this is my dog, Wolfie. Wolfberry. Say hi, Wolfberry. Hello. Someone's asking if I get signups. I have built a huge following from social media. This is huge. No, I didn't kill my dog, Sammy, I promise, for those lovely people. The fan page and my personal page. Now I'm really into Instagram. I love Instagram. That's my favorite one so far. Twitter, I think I got like 10,000 people. But some tips on that is definitely be consistent. I would have a fan page and a regular personal page. You can have people follow you on your personal page that are above and beyond your 5,000. But keep it fresh, and I post on both because I post different things on both. Actually, I post a lot more personal things on my personal page and a lot more education and different things on my fan page. My fan page is Swiftfire something. Let's see how much I know. But and then I have my like Sharnael Wolverton page. Some tips I'll tell you is don't just post like sell and links to your website like over and over and over again. I would post things like fun things like your dog, your cat, your family, things that you're doing. Yes, cancel clear. I'm not going to kill my dog. Pictures of the product, things that you're doing every day, like normal things, like, obviously be compliant. You're not going to say how this helps whatever and get off your drugs with these and that kind of stuff. You can't do that. But just regular day, if you're cleaning your house with thieves, or if you're, I'll get like a spray bottle and put like pine in it because I love the smell of pine. It reminds me of Pine Sol, which is not good for you. And so, but it reminds me of my mom because she cleaned with that. And I would put Pine Sol in a bottle and maybe put it next to some pine and use that to spray clean, and just explain like, this is what I'm doing today, or some detergent and a thing of laundry and go, this is what I'm doing today. Or you can, put out your supplements or your mouthwash, and, or you can do product placement. So if you're taking a picture of yourself, you can put that stuff in the background like you weren't really trying, but it's just like kind of sneaky subliminal stuff, because tricky. But when people see that and see like you're cooking with it, you're diffusing this, you're drinking sleek tea, which is super yummy for you. I'm going to drink some. Have y'all had this? Super, really freaking delicious. One more. Okay, yeah, that's so good. And then notice it says like Young Living on it. Also do things like wear Young Living clothes, hats, bags. Honestly, I don't just use the products. I am the product. Like everywhere I go, when I have it on my car, I have it in my car. I'm wearing some sort of t-shirt or have a bag or a hat or something at all times. So, you know, maybe someone will ask me about it, and usually they do. That's how I get signups too. Definitely posting things with pictures are good. You don't want to just type out, I am using lavender today. Okay, so like I use pictures. Like yesterday I posted a picture of lavender and energy oil, which both have purple labels, and I just held it up and I was like, you don't want to mix these two up. So I'm not saying anything, and I'm not giving, you know, instructions or being uncompliant. I'm just explaining, don't mix these two up. And it's just kind of funny. You could do YouTubes, you could do do it yourself kind of deals, recipes. I have a blog, Swiffer.org, where I'm constantly every week, be consistent, every week posting something, whether it's like educational, some sort of recipe, something that you're doing, you know, be consistent. And again, not to sell, because if you're doing that, then people are really turned off, and they know that you are just trying to make money. And I personally am not trying to just make money. This is actually really important to me and important to my purpose. And I think most of you are on this call because it's a part of your purpose too. All the diamonds that I know are doing this because this is a part of their life. This is their lifestyle. This is not just a passing, oh yeah, you didn't make diamond just by sneezing and oh, I accidentally made diamond. You were living it. They say 10,000 hours of something is what makes you an expert. And so, you know, you could do your 10,000 hours in 10 months like Vanessa did. She made diamond in 10 months. There's lots of people who made it faster after I did, and all through social media, mostly through social media, which is what Lindsay's book is about. And then there's some people who do the meetings. I personally do meetings still. I don't travel 4 days a week like I was doing, but I still travel a couple times a month, meaning weekends, where I go out to different people's houses, different people's home, conferences, conventions, Facebook classes. I personally like seeing people in front of me, like their real faces, touching them, going into their homes, meeting their families, seeing where they live, going through all their house and make sure that they have their stuff everywhere and they're living it. Just kidding. Someone did that to me, by the way. 2 people. Vaughn Harding, my upline, and Stacy Kimbrell, who's amazing. She actually came to do a meeting here, and when I went to the bathroom or was going to get ready, when I came out, she had a box that she just had in my kitchen, and it had like bleach and cleaner and bad shampoo and all these things that were not Young Living, and she was like, this is going in the trash. And I was like, oh my God, you just went through my whole house and like pulled stuff out of my sink and everything. And yeah, I thought it was hilarious, but she was trying to prove a point that like if I go into your house, you better be living it. Like this, you know, don't just talk about it, but live it. Like if you post stuff on Facebook, don't be drinking this freaking soda and being like, oh, I'm so healthy, and then like, you know, whatever, and eating french fries and pizza, and then your next, you know, thing is like, buy these oils because they're so healthy. Like you got to get congruent, you know, get a brand, make sure that you're living in alignment and living true. I actually had another encounter right before I got into this because I had such resistance about getting into a freaking MLM. I was so just very not wanting to do this, and I had dreams and I had different things. I had a dream that Bob Jones, who was my spiritual father at the time, came to me and passed me this baby, and when he passed it, you know, nobody wanted this baby. All these ministers and like high TV people, we were on TV at the time, and all these people had been past the baby and nobody wanted the baby. The baby had on no clothes. It had a diaper that was needed to be changed and nothing else on, and it was crying, and I was like really freaking mad because no one would take this baby, and I finally took the baby, and I was like, give me the baby. And the baby grew into my arms as I fed it, and it just tripled in size, and it was this toddler instantly. And I remember looking over at Bob, and Bob telling me that I was doing good, and the baby's name was Oils. So that was one thing that happened. And another thing that happened is I had this encounter. I don't know if it was a dream or whatever, but I walked into the living room. There was these two freaking like 16 foot, 14 foot, I don't know, really tall. I have high ceilings, angels in there, and they had all these books everywhere, and ancient books, and they were open through the books, and I reached over, there was like a desk, and I looked over to read the desk, and it was like all these people, all these recordings of different people who had used oils and had amazing testimonies and the dates. And it was just like record after record, thousands of these books piled really, really high. And I remember one of them looking at me saying, what do you want? And I said, I want to be a part of that. And the other there was two angels. One, I don't know the name. The other one I knew was named True. And True looked at me and was like, okay, and slammed the book. And then he looked at me really serious. And he said, tell them they're not truly living unless they're living true. And I knew that meant like 55 dimensions of truth. Like it was not about just telling the truth, but it was living true. It was being true. It was telling, being honest with your life and not just with your words. Being honest with your call, being honest with your relationship with God. And for me, that was the next day is when we had our miscarriage, and I knew like all of this was leading up to me going ahead and jumping in with these oils. I knew that I was going to take the baby. Baby's representing a ministry, a business, something new to take on, and I knew it was going to grow really, really fast. I knew that it would grow exponentially, which it did, and God's in this, you guys. Whether you believe in God or not, God is definitely in this. He has a purpose for you. You may not fully know what that purpose is, and that's okay. Just, go with it and see what God's doing, and be okay with where God takes you. For me, some other tips besides the social media thing, just being real. Like I said, talking to the people, living true. Self-development is a big one. Big. And books, I'm constantly reading. I love books. There's so much stuff out there to get plugged into. I have a few things that I can, Stacy Kimbrell I mentioned before. That is a huge, awesome book. Okay, now my cat, Rayma. Okay, Conscious Language CDs with Marcella Von Harding and Robert Tennyson. Really, really huge. You can get this at swiftfire.org. These are like a drink of water to your soul. I mean, it really, 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 really helps. These are two books on spirit stuff, Keys to Third Heaven and Seers. These are two of my books that are at the website. If you're wanting to learn to tap into God, which I believe God is all over this and in this and will help guide you to be true to how to even do all this and how to use your gifting in God to help with other people. The Seer's Handbook goes into like hearing God and that kind of stuff, and this is what to do with what you hear. Keys to Third Heaven. Obviously the business is really, really important. So things like GoPro, the Compound Effect, the Slight Edge is amazing. Anything by Maxwell, oh my God, buy all of his stuff. Randy Gage is amazing. I've been to Mastermind and spoke at Mastermind. I know there's a lot of people on here who have spoke at Mastermind. Anything by Jim Rohn, is going to be awesome. Definitely want to invest in that. I'm looking here. There's tons of great information. But self-development is huge, because you're only going to grow as deep and wide as you are. Your team will only grow as deep and wide as you are. And so integrity is huge. The word integrity actually comes from being integrated. And when we are integrated, mind, body, and soul, then we're in our best immunity. Our cells are lined up. Our immunity is lined up. And so that's huge. Lindsay's book, Getting Noticed, is on Amazon and the Kindle. Definitely go get that. There's great resources out there with Jake and Christy and the ULA guys. I love all them. But, and going to live events that are going to help you, get into convention, my God, that is like huge. If you can get to convention and just be around the energy of other people. I've been studying energy, and there's a thing called entrainment, which basically there's a field of like 15 inches that your vibe goes out into with this frequency, and the oils hang out in that vibe, by the way, and the frequency there. And they tell you, like, if you have an illness, to go hang out with someone who's already been healed of that, because you can actually pick up the code in their field, and your body will take on that code and get into the healing. And so that goes the same for wealth. Hang out with people who already know how to get there and who have already got there, and you'll get there too. Get a coach, get some accountability, get with people. I don't go follow people unless they've already done it. And so, do not go get coaching from somebody who's never done what you're trying to do, whether it's health or anything in business or ministry. Like, definitely get with people who've already overcome it. Don't go get a doctor who has never helped anyone in a certain situation. Find out that they've helped someone in that situation already, and that's what you need to do. And the same thing with convention. When you go to convention, you are in that field of all of these amazing people. The vibe there is ridiculous, and there's so much leadership and so much excitement, and there's so much education. You could go to classes like the whole time and just learn and be educated, and it's a safe place to be educated. You can learn not only about the health aspects, but about the education. So there's about the business education and how to integrate all this. And so get to convention. This year it's June 14th through the 17th. I went one time, and I knew I will never skip a convention ever. When you go to convention and you meet all the people there and you see that, and it's not just seeing it, or it's not audible, it's kinetic. You feel the difference. You feel something. You catch your body actually shifts and changes, and you become a different person. And they say science-wise that anyone who goes to convention, they jump ranks faster than anybody, because they get it. Something clicks. You see the vision, but you also catch the vibe. And so get to convention for sure. Already get your tickets. Hang out with people and get a coach. Read. Leaders are readers. It's so true. And be the product. Wear the product, live the product. Keep sharing. You don't know how effective. You don't know what your story and how your effect and your testimony can be for somebody. It's so powerful. And I've even had people, don't give up on people. I've even had people who I gave them their kit. They were literally about to be inactive. And I contacted them, and I'm like, okay, you haven't done anything. What's going on? You're about to go inactive. And the person, this happened to me twice, the person actually admitted that they had never even opened the box. So after that, I was like, when someone gets signed up, I'm like sitting there or in their presence or Skyping or something or on the phone, making sure they're freaking opening the box. Because once these people open the box, they made silver, and just a few months after. And we're getting all kinds of people on board. So definitely make sure people have some sort of accountability or partner or coach once they get in. Team them up with people. Help be be accountable to following up with others and making sure that they're really getting this and being educated. Plug them into different resources. We didn't have Facebook. We didn't have groups. We didn't have blogs. We didn't have anything on the internet. We had no books. I mean, I think there was like 2 books out there on essential oils like years ago. So don't tell me that you can't do this, because you can. I'm telling you, like, believe me. I hear people are like, oh, I can't share. I don't know what to do yet. I'm like, oh my God, cry me a freaking river, because Jesus, like, we had 0. So there's so much, there's almost too much information out there. So definitely get people plugged in, do meetings, do care calls, you know, just checking on your people. Get them, everyone you can, to convention. There's so much great stuff in convention. Do giveaways, do contests, do things on social media for contests. That's my tips. I think I'm about out of time here. Choosing to know if I said everything. I'm going to be doing my giveaway here. Let's see, today is what? I don't even know what day it is. I think it's the 16th or the 17th. So I will do my giveaway on the 21st. So that will give you guys some time, because I know that some people are live, but some people are also not on here yet because this is being recorded. So follow me on Instagram, Dr. Sharnael, and I will pick all of the last however many people on Instagram. Oh, today's the 17th, thank you. So on the 21st, I'll go through and see all my followers for the last, since today at 5 o'clock. And I will draw names for all the prizes that I mentioned earlier, and give away these great things. I will need your addresses and stuff too. And once I pull the prizes, I'll do a little video or something on my Facebook page, giving away the prizes and announcing the winners. So I love you guys. I appreciate your time. Thank you again, Sandy. Thank you, Lindsay, for stepping out and introducing me. I love your vibe. I've loved you from the beginning, and you are the kookiest, most awesome, fun person. And I love your new book. I can't wait to read it. And I love all my team, everyone who's on my team who's watching and gave me high fives and love. I love you guys. And oh, someone's asking, what if you were already following? Well, if you're already following me, then if you've made a comment on this, I will also count that as I'll put your name in the drawing for every person who commented or shout out something in this feed. And I'll give you an extra one if you were already following me, or if you add following me. How about that? So we're going to have a lot of people, but that'll be fun. I'll make it fun. So I love you guys. Have a freaking Merry Christmas. Keep sharing. Keep loving well. And I love you so much. Bless you. From my whole heart, I love you.